right now on The Dixon Show.
That's right. It's The Dick Show on a Friday night. In the spirit of doing things the way that, that things go now, and with the simple, kitschy names, we don't have two ferns. We don't have a red table. We're just a couple dicks sitting here talking to our dickhead friends, and that makes us The Dick Show.
Exactly.
I'm Richard Mixon. That over there is DJ Rich's. Tiani, our producer over here to my right. Welcome back, everybody, on a Friday night. We are happy to see you, as always.
It is Friday. How's everybody liking the Friday nights?
Yeah, let us know, because we are actually thinking about changing the night that we do this to maybe a Wednesday, and then we'll be Dicks on Hump Day.
Dicks humping.
Just thought about that one. So it might need some work. Might need a little bit of work, but I think we're good. It's there. It's a work in progress, like everything.
We appreciate everybody being loyal out there, though. Dana, what's happening? Rayanica, Gizzle, what's cracking? But Scott, I got a question for you while we get the show started, bro.
Yeah.
How was your week?
Well, tax day was Tuesday, right? This is audio from the governor's office.
Beautiful, lovely taxes.
Taxes are due Tuesday. I, of course, filed for an extension, even though
that was governor.
Even though we're 4 months later than what they were actually due. But I did an extension.
I did an extension as well.
Apparently, I don't know how this works, but I guess that you still it says you still owe the taxes on April 15th.
If you owe taxes, you're supposed to pay. You're only allowed to file.
Man, I hope I drove to the city enough that I can deduct enough mileage.
You know what? I'm surprised every single year. I actually got a return for the first time last year ever that I can remember, in my adult life, since I was 18 and had my first job.
That's
how I felt. They're like, oh, here, well, thank you for all this wonderful money that you paid all year and give us some more. No, I actually had a new tax guy, and he's freaking amazing. But for the first time that I can remember, I had a $300 return.
Really? I think I've always, I hate taxes. We'll leave it at that. Taxation is theft. I don't know if you've ever heard me say that.
Taxation is theft.
Theft is the forcible taking of something from somebody against their will under threat of violence. And if I don't pay my taxes, somebody will come to my house wearing a gun on the side of their clothes. And,
not in Berkeley.
And they will take, not driving a car either, and they will take money from me. So, you can justify it. You can say that taxes are there to fund the police department that we want to defund. That won't respond to any calls when you call them unless there's a crime in progress. You can say it's for the fire department that saves the foundation when the house burns.
I know. The schools
that suck. They're at the bottom. You can say it's for the
schools that aren't even the kids aren't even going to.
You can say it's for the roads, because we all know how 580 is in great shape on the way. And if you haven't driven in the city lately, if you find a road that isn't filled up with tents or blocked off for restaurants, it'll just completely kill your suspension. So
we have lovely roads.
So those are what all of our taxes are for in California that we pay by force. What are we drinking today?
Today we are drinking the wonderful
Monkey Panic.
Monkey
Shoulder. Monkey Shoulder. It's a little on the empty side because we've been drinking a little bit, but
this is a batch 27. This is smooth and rich, so I'll be rich. You can be smooth. Okay, it's a blended malt Scotch whiskey. Okay, made by real monkeys.
Made by monkeys or from monkeys?
No.
There's a difference, I think.
Yes.
Not from monkeys, because we here, if you see my shirt here, we like the monkey. We celebrate the monkey. It's our spirit animal here in the RMS
what
studios.
What happens when it gets in trouble, though?
We spank him. Spank the monkey. Cheers to the Monkey Shoulder, the Monkey Shoulder whiskey, everybody.
Exactly. Salud. Happy Friday. Rochelle, what's happening? Pops, I see you out there.
I like how Dana said she got 302 until she learned how to do taxes. That's when you don't want to cross the line, because you start saying things like, well, all that mileage. And
it isn't necessarily even about that, but I mean, I make a living wage. I guess I can put it that way, right? I make a
comfortable.
I make a comfortable salary to live here in California, support my family. I'm lucky enough to keep my wife home as a stay-at-home mom. And we do good. I'm able to buy toys, and we're able to drink.
You're buying a scooter from me tonight, in fact.
Expensive whiskey.
I was going to say, what kind of toys?
You're not supposed to say that. No, I told my wife you were giving it to me. Thanks. Thanks for ruining that for me. I appreciate it.
The headphones were only $100.
They were only $100
after that refund that he got from the taxes.
$100 a month for 5 months. Don't worry about it. We have a new segment we're doing this week.
This week in history.
This week. Well, is it this week or this day in history?
This day in history. This day in history.
What
which
happened?
Was not on me. Let's pull it up.
I know for all my Disney dorks out there, like Disneyland. Disneyland opened.
We were supposed to have Flo do a VO for this, and we didn't come up with the idea till last night. So I can't do a good Flo voice, but this day in history.
That doesn't sound like Flo.
It doesn't sound like her at all. 1955, Disneyland opens.
I'm a Disney dork. Up until this year, we were Disneyland annual pass holders.
Yeah.
But my daughter was born in February, so we decided this year we were going to hold off. And it was probably one of the better ideas, considering it was costing us like $400 a month.
We got to go back to that so I can read it.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, so 1955, Disneyland opens.
I love Disney, though. What else happened?
1967, a gentleman named Mark Sinclair Vincent, a.k.a. Vin Diesel's born. 2003, Kobe Bryant didn't rape a sexually assault a 19-year-old hotel employee in Edwards. I'm using my finger quotes here. In Colorado.
Didn't.
2009, the Space Shuttle Endeavour docks with the space station. Once the astronauts joined the ones already up there in space, it was on record as being the largest number of astronauts in orbit at any given time. So that's
how many astronauts were actually
astronauts? How's your astrological chart? 2012, 2012, Kim Jong-un is officially appointed supreme leader of North Korea, among other things.
So I happened to be standing in line in the grocery store yesterday,
yep.
Right? Okay. Go ahead and leave that up for a second. I was actually happening to be standing in line at the grocery store yesterday, right?
You saw Kim Jong-un.
Well,
I haven't said his name right one single time since I started reading this.
I don't know if you could say it right. But no, they got all the smut magazines right there in the front of the, by the cash register.
At the grocery store?
Yeah, because you have to stand 6 feet away from the cash
smut
register.
magazines are like the weird National Enquirer and stuff.
Yeah, the smut.
Okay.
That's what I consider
I think smut is like Playboy and stuff.
No, but they're actually saying in the smut magazines that he's dead and his sister is now running shit. So she's supposed to be like the most dangerous woman alive, and she's gonna, nuke the U.S. and all its allies. So 2020 ain't done yet.
No, I think we're gonna be in this for a while.
I don't know if there's any truth to that, but it's just.
Well, I once heard a radio interview where I think the editor of National Enquirer was trying to tell everybody that everything in there is completely true and they'd be liable and stuff. I'm like, so the thing about Kirstie Alley weighing 1,000 pounds. I mean, I know the bitch put on some weight, but. I didn't see her getting into the back of a dump truck to go to the grocery store. Like, come on now.
Dude, I heard Adele. Okay, I didn't hear. I read it on the National Enquirer while I was standing in the same line, right? Mm-hmm. But she lost 130 pounds.
I did. I heard that too.
She's like Skinny Minnie now from some National Enquirer fad diet.
I'll have to Google her and see what.
Could be Weight Watchers. I'm not necessarily sure, but it is what it is. No, we forgot Nils Boland.
Who?
Nils Boland.
Niels Boland, who's that?
He's a legend, bro. 1920, okay. Nils Boland was born.
I still don't know who it is.
Okay, he was the inventor of the 3-point seatbelt.
Oh, really?
Yes, so one of the greatest technological innovations of its time.
I prefer the 5-point myself.
Well, you have a racing truck.
I know. I have to take my steering wheel when I get out, so,
Isn't that what everybody does?
I think so.
I would think it's appropriate. Not? No, he invented the 3-point seatbelt to keep everybody safe, so... Those of you guys, or all the women with boobs that like to separate their breasts, from the seatbelt, you can thank Nils for that.
And they take their selfies,
exactly.
Look at my nails.
Isn't that how it works, bro?
I think so.
I did it for the gram.
Yeah.
What else is going down?
A food bank in Merced County.
Ooh.
We're in the full on. We're heading off to the race baiting bullshit that everybody's into. So let's pull that graphic up real quick there.
What do we got?
This is a thing.
What happened?
This is posted. So I sometimes, now you can see there, if you look across the top, you see I've got tabs open. This is a screenshot of a legit Facebook post. Now, legit in Facebook.
This is your Facebook page.
Yeah, legit.
You got 9 notifications or 7 notifications?
And I haven't checked them yet. Imagine that. We're in the middle of a show, Rich. So, but I wanted to screenshot this as you see it because I want you to see this isn't just a graphic we came up with. This is posted by the Merced News. So what it is, it's a free one-time delivery of an emergency food box. It's, you're on hard times.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, you're on hard times. COVID's hit you.
People aren't working.
Yeah. Enough shelf-stable staples for 125 meals. I like that. I mean, groceries are expensive, right? Recipients must be 50 or older.
Everybody needs rice, beans.
Absolutely. I needed them at the beginning of this whole thing when there was no rice, no beans, no flour, no sugar, no toilet paper, pretty much... The shelves were barren, man. It was crazy. We all remember that. Anyways,
they were talking about doing that again.
Yeah, recipients must be African American, Hispanic, Latinx. Oh,
what is Latinx?
Well, I think it's or O.
Isn't that a band we did sound for?
It was actually back in the day. Available in Merced and 10 other counties. So now you can't see all the comments on there, but I went through and looked at the comments, and
what they say?
Pretty much what you'd expect to have, which is people just think that this is a porn, and numerous people that called the number on there, and all that they could provide was that the program doesn't exist any longer. Now, when somebody tells me a program doesn't exist any longer, that tells me two things. One, we can't do it. And one, it did exist at one point, but it doesn't anymore. And then, of course, there was the one person with the same copy and paste, like, well, AARP, which is one of the people you saw in there, AARP and 211 and a couple other ones, don't know anything about it. Well, they did, because they're answering the phones and they're saying the program doesn't exist anymore. So,
you know what's something that I always do too?
So white people, Asians, Arabs, you have to be black or
Mexican
or Hispanic,
bullshit.
or from any kind of Latin country.
I wouldn't have took advantage of that.
Sorry, Chinese, the entire Asian population.
Well, I mean, China is what put us all on the spot. I think they ought to be exempt anyways.
Well, there's always bats.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
You know what I always do in those kind of situations, though, when people ask you, well, what's your nationality? Well, I'm American.
Right.
I was born here. My parents were born.
We know the Smithsonian Museum and all their talk of whiteness, which we'll talk about next show. That's a whole show.
I'm curious.
Seems to think that that only whites are American and everybody else needs a hyphen in their name. And I've long thought that the term African American, to me, like, we're all Americans. But again, we'll tease that for next show, because that really gets into some philosophic points. And speaking of philosophy, have you heard about Kanye?
He's running for president.
He's running for president.
Yeezy for president?
He's running for president.
What happened?
He's running for president.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
Are you voting for him?
No.
I heard he's running for libertarian.
Is he?
Yeah. No.
I think Joe
actually was reading about it.
I think Joe Jorgensen's still going to get my vote for libertarian president. I'm sorry, Kanye. Apparently, he's just kind of done the bare minimum, and they don't expect his name to actually show up on the ballots. Which is, wasn't he a big fan of Trump? Like, how? So him and
Trump are boys, bro.
Yes, he's got to be running against Trump to do this. I don't know how.
I actually was reading about that. He was actually running as an independent, so he's funding his own political campaigns.
You know what else he did?
What?
Took a giant PPP loan for his Yeezy fashion company, and then announced the next day that he was going to build a mansion. So
what's wrong with that?
Took that money to build.
I think some people should be told no when you ask for that loan. Really,
well, you know what? I'm very familiar with the PPP loan. It's actually, I deal with clients all day, every day. I have for the last 4 months.
Good thing they had the third P on that loan, or it'd be really weird to say it, right?
PPP.
The PP loan?
The PP loan? Exactly.
PP loan.
No, so it stands for Paycheck Protection Program. So what it was designed was for employers, right? And it's backed by the SBA. It's guaranteed. Okay. And it'll pay up to 250% of employees' salary, right? Mm-hmm. It was supposed to cover for 8 weeks. It's been extended to 24 weeks, but they still didn't give any more money other than the 250%, right? Mm-hmm. So as long as that money is used to pay employees, it's forgivable under the SBA in the Fed through the CARES Act, which means if they spend at least 60% of it, that 60% that was spent to pay employees is forgiven. So, it's not just, Yeezy or Adidas or any of those other companies that have gotten the funds. There's still funds available. It's not deniable. Like, everybody who's applied for it and had legitimate, like, I have a legitimate business and I actually run a payroll, is approved. Like, you have your money in 3 days, like, legit. So
I get that his employees probably aren't billionaires like he himself is, but I feel like him as the owner of the company ought to be able to say, you know what, I'll pay for my employees' salary without taking out a loan from, because who's the loan's forgiven? Who's paying for that loan? You and I are.
Of course we are.
We are. So I have to pay for the billionaire because he can't afford to pay his employees. Because, I'm the first one. I'm the first one to speak out against the whole class warfare thing about billionaires. They earn their money. But why should you be going to a government agency to get money when you yourself absolutely could do the right thing and pay your employees during this, and then have the balls to go announce that you're going to build a mansion the next day?
Guess what?
What?
I'm building a mansion.
Are you?
Well, no, I'm just trying to freaking figure out how I'm going to get a fence built in my front yard.
Some rocks. We're still talking about that. Yeah.
Some damn rocks. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, but I see Dana checking in. Like, yes, there's companies that are pocketing the revenue, but it's not a free loan. So if they do pocket the money and they can't prove that they paid their employees with it, it is a loan.
Right. Yeah. No, I know because my company.
The billionaire is not gonna prove that he's not.
Well, I mean,
he's not paying his employees.
I don't know any
proof is paperwork, and anything can be proved.
Can be docked.
I work for a human capital management company, and it happens on a regular basis. But if you get a loan for anything, you're still paying it back.
Mm-hmm.
It's still tied to you. It's still tied to your Fed ID. It's still.
I mean, I know millionaires who, on paper, make $60,000 every year, right? I mean, it's just all how you look at it.
Of course, it's really how it works out. But I mean, he didn't invent the program. I mean, Congress agreed to it. They put it in the law. I just don't like it. I
don't like it. He's a billionaire. He's taking advantage of a program.
I got a question for you. If it was your business.
Yeah, I'm not a billionaire.
Okay, even if you weren't a billionaire, even if you were, I'm making ends meet and I'm paying my employees.
Right. Fair enough. How about
the government says you can't work. Your employees can't come to work.
Mm-hmm. So am I a majority shareholder of the company? Do I have a board of directors that I have to answer to? Because
you're a corporation.
Okay, well then that's a little different thing because you're answering to a board of directors and you have to do things to keep the stockholders happy, right? He's 100% owner of this company. It's not publicly traded. It's not.
Wouldn't you want to keep yourself happy, whether you're a board of directors or not? Like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Situation.
It's hard to say. I'm not a billionaire. I don't think I'll ever be a billionaire.
I'm not a billionaire either.
I don't know. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back, talk about Jada Smith, Berkeley, and another stupid Berkeley thing that they're doing.
They call it Berkeley for a reason.
Dixon Ball segment returning and more.
Anybody want any more whiskey?
I think I'm good on the whiskey right now.
I'll take a little bit.
A little bit.
He's drinking whiskey now. Watch out.
Like a
Producer's
fingertip.
drinking whiskey.
Remember in Vegas?
No, I don't. Which I think was kind of the point.
Oh, I'm not sure I can necessarily reach that.
We need to go there.
Over here, portion of whiskey. Excuse us while we do a little bit. We could have done this during the break, but.
Carlos checking in.
Oh, good. Hey, Carlos.
He's a billionaire at heart.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry we haven't got your last week's show.
But we drank your whiskey,
Uploaded.
Look, I still got it.
We don't have money. We don't have to have money to be there. We're already on top.
Bro, I stay ready, bro, with that whistle pick.
Is that sitting here in the studio?
No, those are my
Or you
backpack.
brought it with you from last time?
Oh, heck no.
Oh, yeah.
So what else is going on? So
Berkeley traffic enforcement. So a thing happened in Berkeley.
Yes.
The same city that brought you the same city that brought you houses that can't have gas pipes run to them anymore. I don't know if you heard that one.
Well, you know what?
So they passed a resolution about 2 years ago that no more gas in residential
Berkeley,
structures, which means you're using electricity to cook, which
they actually
runs off of coal and is.
I remember last year at work. Berkeley used to be one of my territories, and I remember they passed legislation last year that made them change the name of all kinds of stuff. Like you can't have.
It's not a manhole cover anymore.
It's not a manhole. It's a what do they call it? A street cover, a street hole cover. Or They changed everything.
Person hole cover. What I want to know is what about
shut your pie hole?
Yeah. Well, what about what about things in Spanish with the whole L and law and different, the O and the A on the end? Is everything just licks and elks and it has an X on the end and we don't use the O in the end?
Why?
A? Well, because you can't have male or female. So, what have they done this time, I hear you ask? Berkeley City Council has approved a plan to remove police traffic stops.
They asked for it. Defund the police!
Defund the police.
Jeff checking in from Seattle. You were all over like the Chop, the Chaz, whatever the hell they wanted to call it.
Jeff was.
And...
shout out to all of our dickheads.
Yeah, you got what you asked for.
Yeah. So, anyways, Berkeley is going to remove police from traffic stops. So the police will not be making traffic stops anymore. They will also reduce.
What are they going to be doing?
Their budget by 12%.
How much is the budget? Do you have any idea?
I should.
Berkeley's a big town.
Police budget? Probably $3-4 million. If I had to guess. Yeah.
So no more tanks in Berkeley.
No more tanks in Berkeley. So, but what they are doing is now they're going to hire a civilian force to make traffic stops.
And what are they going to do? Oh yeah. Citizens Up, dude. I loved that movie.
Right. So citizens will make, and they're saying it's going to take a couple months up to a year, and of course it will, because in California you can't make a vehicle stop unless you're a sworn police officer. You're not allowed to. So
that worked really well in the chop, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah, with the security. So
no donuts.
So my question for you.
I have a question. Right now.
Go ahead.
What happens? The sideshows are now not on MacArthur. They're not on East 14th.
Right up north into Berkeley.
They're going
straight up San Pablo Avenue, right into Berkeley.
San Pablo right now. University, it's on tonight.
Yeah. Why not? Why would you? And then
Stop, don't
I want to know.
I want to
know. You dickheads chime in and tell me. I want to know who would stop when Estelle Getty over there, pulls the tail on her Chihuahua and it goes, and she tries to pull you over.
Blue lights?
No, absolutely not. They're not.
What are they? What do they?
I don't know. Orange or something?
Orange.
I don't know. See, these are all questions that need to be answered before this thing happens, because I only pull over for red and blue lights. If somebody flashes a flashlight at me,
it's safety.
Yeah, a disco light that they bought at Walmart, like, I'm not pulling over for that. I'm sorry.
Well, would you pull over for the old lady?
No.
For what?
I'm not required to by law.
I'm swinging a donut in front of her.
Not required to by law. I mean, it has to be that's police officer standards and training in California. That's who certifies that you are a POPO, post-certified police officer, to pull you over.
Exactly. Protests are going to Berkeley like it's going to go nuts. They're doing sideshows.
Mayor Quinn says Berkeley is not proposing to abolish the police. We have to have police to address serious and violent crime, but it does make sense for police officers responding. So let me ask you this.
Sure.
It's not a violent crime if somebody just robbed a bank and they hopped in their car with a gun?
Not chasing me. I ain't stopping.
So
turn those orange lights off. I'm not coming.
Yeah, and your Celica is not going to keep up with my truck. I'm sorry.
Well, what do they get? Are they giving them Chargers and
they haven't said yet. But man, could you imagine? I'll tell you how this is going to go down. Is the first, because a lot of people don't know this if you haven't been involved in law enforcement. But a vehicle stop, is one of the most unsafe thing that a police officer does next to walking into a scene of a domestic violence call, because unless you recognize the driver and you say, hey, I'm going to pull a joke on my wife and pull her over right now, like, you don't know what's going to happen in that scenario. And when you hear of cops getting killed, a lot of times it's a traffic stop. That's what started it. So more citizens' tax money is going to be spent now paying for the lawsuits of the family of the dead retired prostitute that decided she wanted to be a traffic enforcement officer.
Well, that's a whole lot of the reason why the cops shoot to kill. It's cheaper to pay out a lawsuit for a wrongful death than it is to maim somebody or hurt somebody and then.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's one of the reasons. Sideshows all day, Carlos says. I believe Carlos will come back and we'll all go take place in the sideshow. I'll rent a car.
Bro, bring back Los's Thunder Chicken.
Yes. Yeah.
Bring back with the beat. Like,
we'll find a fire chicken. We'll go rent a Corvette and put the full insurance plan on it.
Exactly. With that tax return money that we're going to get, that $300 tax.
Why not?
I'll rent a car for a day. Los came through last time. Like, we came to California. He rented
can't possibly be
Camaro.
Good.
Like,
this can't possibly be good. And even
how is that going to work?
Even in New York, like you interviewed.
Is there anybody out there? Sorry to interrupt, but is there anybody out there that would actually stop? Like, I know you guys are checking in on Facebook. I want to know if you would stop for a rent-a-cop or whatever you want to call him, a citizen on patrol. Like, hit us on the text line, hit us on in the chat right now. Let me know. Like, yeah, I'm stopping. I'm gonna obey. Like, they can't keep the homeless people off of the courthouse lawn.
Well, it's not the police's job anymore to do that either.
Okay.
So we're gonna have citizens in San Francisco. It's gonna be citizens that do that,
right? They're gonna be deep on University in San Pablo and Berkeley. Like, it's what you gonna do?
I'm a law-abiding, upstanding person, and I will absolutely go take part in a sideshow as a spectator and a participant.
I can't wait.
And I think you'll join me.
Which car are you bringing out?
We'll do the dick show. I'll do it in my truck.
Let's bring out the trucks, bro.
I'll do it in the truck.
Let's bring out the trucks.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do the show from there.
From the back of the trucks?
Yeah.
We're gonna look like Trump supporters, bro.
We're spinning around in circles with
We'll go
the
side to
big
side.
old American flag on it. All right. Well,
Why not?
changing gears a little bit. Have you heard about the red table?
Here's
know what the red table is?
story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down.
Yes.
And
Yes, you're onto something.
I'd like
there.
to take a minute just to sit right there and tell you, Jada, why did you lie about August? Jada,
Like-
what happened?
Entangled. I don't think half of the population knew what an entanglement
Look at
meant
that
until-
face, bro.
He's mad. Oh, he's
Dude,
pissed off. Look
you
at
know-
the two of them are happy as can be, and he's just so pissed off.
You know what makes him the
He's
maddest?
so mad.
You know what makes him the maddest?
What's that?
He's like, I can't even kill her because if I killed her, she'd be with Tupac, and they'd probably be entangled too.
Damn it.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
They're probably.
it can't
What's
even-
up, John? Neighbor John's on.
Neighbor
online.
John, what's
Neighbor
happening?
John. Fuck her. He's awful. I don't know who he is, but so yeah. So I actually.
August or Will?
I think I don't know. Will was. I think Will's pissed about it. Honestly, like I watched the red table thing.
I don't know if it's necessarily pissed. I think it's more hurt.
Yeah,
Like,
probably
you know
more
what?
hurt.
He loved her.
We got some audio actually.
think
We got
that's
some audio
What-
on his
what do
last
we got?
shoot.
Do we really?
Yeah.
My fucking wife has an ass in her cock in the driveway, Kurt. All right? I'm sorry if my thoughts are not on the photography of the film we're shooting tomorrow. Okay?
Obviously, his voice goes up a couple octaves in pitch when he
Wait,
gets
he's
when he's
pissed,
hurt.
bro. He's
Yeah, he
pissed.
is. Right? So
Ow,
he sounds like William H Macy when he gets really hurt. You know.
Exactly.
I do too. It's I get loud and high pitched. So no, I watched this supposed red table
The
interview.
Red Table. What do you think about Red Table?
The show or the thing?
Is it like The View with just Jada, or
I thought it was production value wise probably about where we're at with our show, but they're obviously making more money than their sponsors. It's
They were separated, so I don't see what's the deal. He probably
Well,
thought
no,
that.
no,
yeah, that's what I came
He
off of it. It
probably-
was separated.
He
not-
probably thought that
No.
she wouldn't go there, but you know what? Sometimes you need a break like that. You know
no,
what I mean?
you
And
never
go
need
back
a.
to
Well, you know what? You never need a break like that. If you
What if they're separated though?
you
Right?
were no, you
To
were
each their own. They
married.
were.
You
They
were
were
married, and separated is different than divorced. You know what? Mad at each other. Like I'm married. Me and my wife, we've been married for almost 4 years,
But have
and
you
I've
been
been
separated from her?
no hell
Okay,
no. Like
so
I made a
there's a
commitment.
difference.
I made a commitment to that woman.
There's a difference.
She made a commitment to me. Like I can be mad, you can be mad, and you know what? I'll go in the garage. I will go hang out with my friends. I will do what I need to do. Like, but end of the day, like I want to wake up next to you, and you can be mad and
Next to her?
No, not next to her. Next to my wife.
I'm going to play the interrupt game now. Let's see how you like it.
That's fine. It's funny. No,
to
it's
each
not
their
necessarily next. But no.
You know what I thought? You know what? When I watched this, what I came away with was that it was a thing. It was a very tender admission on her part
Of course.
in a very public setting, and Will Smith on the other side, being in a very public setting, took it very well.
He did.
And
He
I
did.
don't know if it was just face that they were on TV and doing that, but I thought that it's not something I would do in that setting, but they are a very public figure. I mean, at the end of the day, when we turn off our show, nobody's going on Twitter and talking about, did you hear what old Mixon over there did? Jesus Christ, when they were separated.
The old choke and stroke.
Yeah. Almost got him. Nobody's saying that about, thank God, because it never happened. But they're very public figures. Everybody's apparently some chick named Kiki, and that was the other thing I realized when I watched this, that there's a lot of names that I'm not familiar with because I don't really follow. It took every bone in my body to get all the way through that red table thing. I got to be honest with you. It was 12 minutes, and it was. I wanted to go do the choke and stroke after that.
You know what? It's sad. Like coming from a man, like I love my wife. I love her to death. Like she is my best friend. She is.
Love is not in question.
Well,
Love is not in question.
No, but you could see the look on his face, and it's heartbroken. It's heartbreaking.
He
was
shouldn't accept
was the dude friends with
separation.
the dude was
He
friends
shouldn't
with her
accept it.
was with her son? Yeah.
Yes, like it was one of Jaden's friends, and he's
No wonder
young.
he every
Who
time I see him
cares?
on camera, he's like,
He's just like, yeah, you fucked my mom. Like that's like the Stifler. Like, no,
yeah, we're not friends anymore.
yeah, no, it's not okay, and it's like, and I understand.
22 years old he was, and she's 43, and
It's well, you know what? The age aside, like he's of legal age, like she's of legal age. It was consenting. It wasn't bad. I think what's in question is more of he's hurt, and as a man, I understand he forgave her and it was whatever, but do you ever really forgive? Do you ever really I mean, maybe you forgive, but do you ever really forget? Do you ever really get over it?
You will never forget. Never.
You forgive, but yeah.
I mean, she was in the fucking Matrix.
That's right.
Do you know?
And what's... Hey, he doesn't. You know what? He doesn't have to forget. He's got that little thing that right. And he wipes across his face, and then everything's gone. So she's probably done that to himself already.
August is over here. I love this shit, man. I love this shit.
And Will's just like turns his light on.
Will just crying and shit. Like I don't really know.
You get the connection I'm trying to make with that, right? You didn't even smile, so I'm like,
sorry.
Please tell me that I don't.
No, I understand. Like I get it, but like it's heartbreak when you love a woman.
Oh Lord Jesus!
Oh, here we go, T.
Lord Jesus.
She, Tianica over here with her turban on. She's calling Swami Tianica.
So
love has everything to do with it. When you have love for somebody, you also have respect for somebody.
Yeah, but you can't even say that with the same tongue, especially if you disrespect.
I just said it with the same tongue.
But especially if you disrespect your mate in a way. I mean, no one can say they never disrespected their mate and say they love them.
What?
Hello?
What?
Is it hello
what?
Crickets?
What? No one can say they love their mate and what?
And disrespect them with the same tongue.
Of course not.
Okay, so if someone needs to separate from the situation, it doesn't take away of them not loving them. Well, it's just giving them that situation a break.
Well, exactly. A break is different than, Did
you see what Snoop Dogg said in the tweet?
Hey, sometimes that has to be the break.
So there's a screen.
That's not a break. That's I want to fucking suck another dick.
There's a screenshot of a tweet between 50 Cent and Will Smith. Apparently they're friends.
Yeah.
And I guess if we were really good friends, and we are really good friends, and we rib each other and stuff. But it was a check in from 50 Cent. Hey, how you doing, man? I'm good. Thanks for checking in. Appreciate you, man. Blah 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 blah. And then finished off with 50 saying something like, "But man, such a public setting to say, yeah, my dude gave me permission for August to blow my back out."
Right, like,
and then I just finished the fuck you 50. I'm like, that seems maybe crossing the line a little bit as a friend. I don't know. There was, what it is. So it's funny. In this day and age with social media and Twitter, everybody wants to get on the damn bandwagon, and that's what this chick Kiki get involved, and I don't know. And here we are. We're talking about it on our own show, and I don't give two rat's asses about
what's Kiki?
This kind of social stuff, anyways.
That was the girl that Drake was talking about in his song. She was writing.
Oh, I hate that song.
Oh, that's the one that people were getting out of their cars and dancing on the side of, and then getting hit by buses and stuff.
Wasn't that like Mr. Fab? Like, ghost ride it, ghost ride your whip.
They get out their car and their car's riding down the damn road.
Maybe. I don't know.
I did that shit.
Let's take a break, come back and talk about the Wayfair conspiracy theory and some Dixon balls. That'll be good times.
These two just can't be beat. It's the Dick Show.
It's the Dick Show.
Shit.
Shout out to Flo, who does our VO work for us.
She does an amazing job.
She does an amazing job.
Amazing job.
We're still looking at our ad layer there. Wayfair conspiracy. Tell us about it, Rich.
So,
what's this all about?
Who shops at Wayfair? Do you? You ever bought anything Wayfair?
Almost. I almost nearly bought something from Wayfair once. I have a bedroom set that I bought from a little local place in San Francisco, and there was an additional piece that I wanted, and I was going to order from them, and I don't know, they were out of stock. Or
how much was it?
It wasn't $10,000. I know that.
Did kids come?
It was expensive though.
Did kids come running out of it like when?
No, I was. Better send that to me for free if that's going to happen.
You're like, I'm not necessarily sure if that was supposed to be a cockroach or what. No, Wayfair's in the news. Like it's all bad. Like they are under investigation, from what I understand. And this may be fake news, and maybe not, but we'll talk about it because why not? No, Wayfair was in the news. Ellen was caught in the middle of it.
Why does Ellen's name come up? Not only, first of all, fuck Ellen for her name coming up on our show every week now since we're on episode 14, and I'm pretty sure 13 out of 14 episodes, Ellen DeGeneres' name has come up, and I'm goddamn tired of it. And I kind of want to we got to do something. Like if her name comes up again, I don't know if we take shots or there's got to be a sound that gets played.
That's a great idea.
Or something, because it's pissing me off now. I don't like the woman. I think she's a see you next Tuesday, and the fact that we have to keep talking about her, and the fact that honestly, like, not to be the whole guilt by association thing, but at some point when your name pops up in every goddamn conspiracy theory, there's got to be some strand of truth to it somewhere. I think.
I don't really know. So what's going on is Wayfair has been indicted. I don't know if they've been indicted yet. That's
online furniture company for people who aren't aware.
Yes, so they are
like kind of high-end furniture.
Well, I think it's just furniture in general, but delivered to your house, you can pick.
It's like the Amazon of furniture places.
Exactly. Yeah. So they're selling furniture and regular utility cabinets, pillows, all kinds of random stuff for
TV stands,
absorbent amounts of money. So $10,000-$15,000, but they have the names of missing children.
So all the items are $10,000, or just
just the ones with the children.
All right. So they're they're selling certain specific items for crazy amounts of money, and then they're naming them like how IKEA uses
John Benet Ramsey.
The John Benet Ramsey TV stand.
Yes, exactly. It comes with a little blonde girl. Like I don't know, and they're all tied to Ellen and Ellen's collaboration with Wayfair. So I don't know if it's true.
Carlos says he got one delivered today, and it came with an extra kid, and had an arm to send it back.
So instead of just one kid, like you got two, like you get to get your pick. Like I'm not necessarily sure what happened.
I didn't order two of these. I needed to take one back. So
exactly.
So what I saw on that was that first of all, they named them these kitschy little names, and then people were able to then go out on the internets and say, well, hey, this Yuritsa, I think, was one of them. This is a person that was missing. And then furthermore, some of the SKU numbers when typed in bring up photos of little kids. But then there's some connection to like the prison system or the immigration system where kids are coming up missing.
Wayfair has
right?
a contract with, I'm not sure if it's the Department of Homeland Security or which organization it is, but they were actually supplying furniture to the border. So
to the border itself?
Not the border itself, the camps.
To the border. We put these beds halfway in between in case people are tired, crossing the river.
Exactly. So, no.
They're supplying beds to the immigration system.
The immigration camps. There you go. I had it in my other notes, but I turned the page and it's gone now. No, the immigration camps. They were supplying furniture, beds. The bedding that everybody's complaining about, like that's what they were actually supplying to, and 460,000 missing children.
Missing. Wow. So these kids were in custody at one point in our immigration system, and they just vanished.
Gone.
And now they're being sold in curio cabinets.
From Wayfair.
As curio cabinets.
From Wayfair. From Wayfair.
I don't know.
My dad said he populated his entire garage with Wayfair. Thanks, Pop.
Is that where all your son's kids came from?
Exactly. I got 4 kids. Thanks, Dad. No more furniture for you. It happens. We need a break. I'll be right back.
I don't have another break lined up. All right. Well, it seems a little unlikely. What's the CEO of Wayfair said on this?
He's been tied to Ghislaine Maxwell.
Really?
Yeah. Everybody knows that name, right? That was Jeffrey Epstein's mistress, girlfriend, whatever you want to call her. She may or may not be on lockdown right now. I heard she was able
$5 million bail. Did she post it yet?
No, she didn't post bail. They denied her bail.
Yeah. Well, good for her. Want to do Dicks and Balls?
Let's do it.
It's a good time for Dicks and Balls.
Flo, tell me.
Here we go.
And now it's time for Dicks and Balls. I said it's time for Dicks and Balls.
Did you guys see that picture of the new Chase Center?
I saw that. We got our graphics out of order there, but that's not the new Chase Center, actually.
That's the new Chase Center.
No, it's not.
Why? Where's the Warrior logo?
That's Disney World. And the Warriors don't get to play this year.
At all?
They're not one of the teams.
Nope, they didn't.
So what you're looking at right there, what you're looking at right there is what has been referred to as the NBA bubble.
What happened?
The NBA bubble is a structure, actually kind of a dome structure that's been built at Disney World in Florida.
So it's an actual bubble.
Yeah. And, well, it's when you hear the word bubble, you tend to think like biodome or, boy in a bubble or something like that. This is a dome structure. And it's got what you saw there were practice courts in it.
Yeah, it's tied to a hotel, right?
Yes, and it's at Disney World, and there's a hotel there and all the facilities. And the teams that will be playing this year are essentially going to be sequestered, for lack of a better term, in there from July 30th all the way through October 13th.
So it was pretty much all the playoff teams, or what is going to be the playoff teams, right?
Yeah. On our side of things, you got the Lakers, the Clippers. The Nuggets, Jazz. Who cares about Oklahoma City Thunder? Let's move on to the Kings, San Antonio Spurs, and the Phoenix Suns. The Kings made it.
The Kings made it, and the Warriors didn't.
The Kings and the Warriors didn't. Warriors are not on there. So I think that it probably has something to do too with, do you want to play? Do you not want to play? Because there's a lot of there's a lot of players that were positive, negative. Well, and just people that don't want to. There's people that
can I play in a bubble?
Want to go. I'm looking for the quote from LeBron, but after coming back from
your cat scared the shit out of me.
Your cat's in the studio right now.
Jesus.
LeBron James tweeted that I just left the crib to head to the bubble. Shit felt like I'm headed to do a bid, man. I don't know a bid for what.
What's a bid?
I don't know.
Like a stretch? Like
I guess
going to prison?
Yeah, I think so.
God forbid you make what, like $200,000?
Yeah, because they've said it felt like that. So
You know what? I'd be like, babe, I'm sorry. Like, I have to go play a game for like $20,000 a day.
Yeah.
Like,
you like that new mansion we built? I'm sorry, I'm going to be gone for a couple months.
I know we only have 6 of them, but you know what? I'll be back in like 3 months, and I'll be like $30 million richer. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Bank account's clear. Write checks, whatever you want.
Anybody care to know what the Eastern Conference teams are on there?
Yes.
You don't care about that one. You don't care about Miami Heat.
Who?
Miami Heat.
Who?
Philadelphia 76ers.
Okay.
The Washington Wizards. The Brooklyn Nets. Of course, the Orlando Magic. You would hope they would be there.
I wonder if KD's.
They'll be the only ones that have a home team advantage there.
Okay.
If such a thing exists. You wonder what? I'm sorry, what?
I want to see KD come back, bro. Is KD going to come back this season now? Because like the season's been forever.
I don't know. So July 30th through August 14th, the seeding games happen. Playing tournaments August 15th. The finals happen September 30th, October 13th.
But what's happening though? Like they can't even leave the hotel, right?
No, like cannot leave, cannot see family. Family can't come see them. All services are being brought to them. I guess they'll test like the people doing the hair.
They get to be like us, basically.
Hairstylists and so forth.
They get to be like us.
Yeah.
So they get a barber that gets to live there too.
Yeah, a barber.
We get to
barber will live there.
So we get to be like, psst, psst, hey, anybody cut hair?
Right.
Anybody cut hair?
Mm-hmm.
In my garage. Like yeah.
The underground haircuts. What else happened in the sports?
Offensive sports team. The Redskins are being forced to change their name.
This isn't the first time that's come up with them, though, right?
It hasn't. What happened? You were telling me about this. So there was a big story about this not that long ago. A few years ago, they actually did a survey with the Redskins, and were the Indians actually Indians, I hate saying Indians, but Native Americans. Were the Native Americans actually offended by the word Redskins?
In this age of fake news, it's hard to say. There was a survey done by Washington Post back in 2016 where they said that several people's Native Americans and Native American tribes, what have you, surveyed, actually saw it as kind of a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
And there's lots of things kind of debunking that, and lots more text to go with it. There wasn't a wide range of people surveyed. There was several Native American organizations that, in fact, said no, we weren't surveyed, and I don't know.
It's fine.
I always ask who is this for in a lot of cases, and many times Tiani's heard me say it. We walk into a nightclub, a DJ's playing a song, he clears the dance floor, and I say, "Who's this for? Who's this song for? If the audience doesn't like it, the crowd doesn't like it, they've left the dance floor. Does the DJ like it? The DJ is on his phone. He doesn't seem to care. So then who's it for?" And I asked that question. Yeah, I asked that question here. Who is this for? And if it's not for Native American people, then is it for the white people with their internalized racism, saying we've done something for racism and we feel better about it? Is it for that?
It might be.
Because that happens a lot. We've done something for racism, and then I'm going to go back home and sit down on my bung and not do anything else.
Somebody's got to do it.
That being said, I think in my mind it is a bit of a derogatory name, and I think you have to have a line somewhere.
There's worse.
There's worse. Okay, well let's hear where the line is.
So I have a list here of the 10 most offensive.
Let's hear them because I think Redskins is maybe not number one on there, but it might be number 10.
1935 in Italy, there was a team.
Well, now most offensive.
No,
names.
not now.
Just in history.
Just in history.
Okay. All right.
Ethiopian clowns. Okay.
That's a rough one.
Yeah, the Ethiopian clowns, the Dickinson State Savages.
I don't know. I've called people savage before as a compliment.
Okay. How about the Perkin High School Chinks?
That's not okay. That one's not okay. No.
Chicago, Illinois, checking in. Good job.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when was that? What year was that?
Oh, let's see if there's a year posted. There's not a year posted.
Okay.
To it
Anyways,
as of right now.
In history.
In history. Okay. The Frisco Fighting Coons.
Oh, also not okay.
He loved this.
San Francisco.
These are not names we made up, ladies and gentlemen, dickheads. These are actual names of teams that were changed, probably for good reason.
Here's something current. Current. The Coachella Valley High School Arabs.
Oh my God.
Could if you're playing on that team and you're not Arab?
It could be the Arabs.
Yeah.
But they had to change it because it was offensive. So now they're the Mighty Arabs.
The Mighty Arabs.
The Mighty Arabs, exactly. Coachella Valley checking in.
I don't know. I don't see why you need to bring race into it at all, really. That
the Wahpeton Wops.
Not okay. Not okay. Not okay.
My Italian family. Right?
We're nearing the end of this list, I hope, right?
The Aboriginal All-Stars.
But what city was they? Were they the Aboriginal?
Oh, they were in. Let's see here.
I don't know. That seems like it's paying a it's paying a compliment to the Aborigines. Right? So okay, I'm all right with that one.
The St. Bonaventure University Brown Squaws. The Brown Squaws. The Brown Squaws. Okay. So for those who don't know, I didn't know this either, right? So it might sound inherently offensive, but the phrase Brown Squaw is actually Senecan, which is a Native American language, which stands for vagina. Okay, so you are the. You know what? You are a bunch of pussies.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that little giggle I just did? That's like the same one was on driving down 5 when I say Pinocchio Road, right? And then you see another one, you're like, oh, it's a little Pinocchio Road.
Yeah. Exactly right. The Orofino High School Maniacs. The London Rippers. The London Rippers. What about all the people that died? Like you can't. It's not just racially.
That's not racial.
Oh, because
Jack the Ripper, I get it.
Yeah, he wasn't a big deal.
Okay, yeah, it's questionable.
But if you're gonna be a Ripper,
I was a Ripper earlier today. I'll tell you that.
You were ripping one?
Multiples.
Oh, Lord,
what happened?
I took some Imodium, and I think I'm okay now.
And then you were ripping.
God forbid that we have that happen in the studio right now.
There's some
tonight on the Dick Show.
You know what? What do you want to see?
Talking shit. That's what we're doing.
What do you want to see the Redskins' names changed to, though? Like, what's better?
I don't know. Well, and
the red sheet.
You got to ask the question: how far does this go? Like, you got the White Sox.
Yeah.
Is that? You've got
the Yankees.
The Yankees. Okay. I mean, has anybody stopped and asked the Lions how they feel about being represented by a shitty team in Detroit?
True story.
I mean, there's one.
True story.
There's a bunch of Lions around there. Like, God damn it, another year. What about them?
What the fuck is a 49er?
Well, they came here for the gold rush. But
okay,
you know what they say about the gold? That in 49 the miners came, the whores in 51 they rolled around on the native floor and came in the barroom floor and came the native sun.
Stuck the gold in
the miners and the whores, and you had your native Saint of San Franciscans.
You can't even make shit like that up. Like,
no, Mark Twain did, though. He was good at it.
We got some local news, too, don't we?
Local news. Local-ish. San Diego?
No. I thought we had some stuff going on right here in Montclair.
I think it was San Diego. I think I said Montclair, and I think I was wrong. It was San Diego.
And it was sad.
It was sad. It was in No,
so here's the question. So if you change the Redskins name, and this is a good question, the Redskins name to the Rednecks, would it be offensive at that point?
Absolutely.
No. Rednecks is not bad.
Although I know many a redneck, and they're proud to be called a redneck. So
yeah, that's a proud statement.
What other things that start with red?
Red eye.
Gross crickets.
Can't even find it. There was it's too late. I don't know. I don't know what you change it to. I'm sure they'll do some survey, and it'll be some kitschy, maybe they'll be like that one boat that would like Bodie McBoatface or something like that.
You know what? Jeff, again, checking in from Seattle, he's like, we're fucking Seahawk fans. That's not even a damn real bird. Like, can we get a real mascot? Like, something real.
Not to mention that it's offensive to both Hawks and the Sea that to be represented by them too.
Right.
So, I believe what you were alluding to was the Starbucks GoFundMe barista.
Okay.
That somebody's ringing the doorbell of the studio there. Can you believe that? You know what? I had an epiphany.
I had the same idea.
Earlier today, I was like, you know what? We're going to be doing a show one of these days, and somebody's going to hit the button for the doorbell at the studio, and we're going to hear it, and I ought to just go over there and unplug the thing. And I swear to you, as sure as I am sitting here, this kept popping into my head over and over and over again. And again, in the spirit of not doing things that you should do, and that bad things are going to happen, I walked right over to it, and then I grabbed a glass out and filled it full of whiskey, and I came in here and I completely forgot what I was supposed to do. So there it was. So Starbucks, San Diego, gentleman is a barista. That's the person behind the counter making the coffee, right?
What does the word barista
I don't know.
mean?
Would some dickhead please chime in and tell us what barista means?
Actually means?
I think
what language that is? Is that
I
Italian?
don't know.
Barista.
And why the hell does Starbucks have to have, a tall...
my wife gets
a tall grande. Like tall is large, grande is large, vente is Spanish for 20. Like,
you know what?
And I go in sometimes and I say I want a small, and they say a tall, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. I want a small fucking coffee with like 2 creams.
I want a large Farva.
Yeah, liter of coffee, please.
My wife gets pissed because I go into Starbucks and she's like, "Well, let me get a medium white mocha." We don't have medium, sir. Do you want a grande? No, I want a medium. She goes, could you just say grande? No, I don't want a grande. I want a medium.
Yeah, tall is big. Grande is big. Spanish is you're dumb in 3 languages at that point.
Exactly.
So, anyways,
barista's $20 coffee.
Barista's behind the counter. He's making up coffee as baristas are so wont to do.
Okay.
And lady comes in not wearing a mask and starts in on the whole and he's, ma'am, I can't have. The gentleman's name is Lennon Gutierrez. You know that? Lennon. And not Lennon like John Lennon. Lennon like like Vladimir Ilyich Lenin.
Not like the Italian Lenin.
No, like the guy that killed 4 million people in the Civil War in Russia.
Not that Lenin.
So, anyways, I'm sorry, ma'am. We have a company policy. We require masks to be worn. You need to leave. So she leaves, and then she goes on social media. And my favorite saying when I tell somebody, you don't like it, go on the internet and complain. So she does just that. Goes on the internet and complains. And another gentleman who also wants to get his 5 minutes of fame says, "Well, that poor man behind the counter." Who I'm sure immediately helped the next person in line, and they rolled their eyes together because that's the only part of the face that we can see now.
Terrible.
And he made that person a cup of coffee and completely forgot about it. This guy made a GoFundMe a page for this barista and raised $100,000.
$100K?
$100K. Not only did he raise $100K, but then they delivered it to the guy in a suitcase. Think like Pulp Fiction with the light that comes on, right? In the briefcase.
So like mafia
$50 mafia style $50 bills in a suitcase. Here you go. Here's your $100K. He says he's still. So Amber Lynn Giles is the name of the lady.
I'm in the wrong business.
Hell yeah! Shit, all these people
this
making all
podcast
this
shit doesn't pay dick.
I wish somebody'd bring me a suitcase full of 50s. I'll tell you that. If anybody listening, text the Dick Show.
If somebody brought us a bottle of whiskey, I'd be happy.
I would too. So she, had a photo that she sent on there and an image that she shot of him, and this guy 100K, and then now
that's nuts.
And then now the lady wants
100K.
Yeah, this guy right here.
This kid.
Now the lady wants.
He's a kid.
She wants half of it.
The lady who wouldn't wear a mask.
Who wouldn't wear a mask wants half, because if it wasn't for her and her,
ain't that America? The land of the free.
If it wasn't for her and her fuckery, none of this would. And
Okay, wait. What race was she?
She's a white woman. I don't think it matters.
Who gives a
She was
shit?
some dumb Karen.
But ain't that America?
Right.
For you and me.
Everybody is a jackass in this situation. Like everybody is a complete. The woman who came in and bitched and wasn't wearing a mask is a moron. The guy who had went and set up a GoFundMe account thinking somebody was just so bothered and had to go cry in the corner and made a GoFundMe account. He's an idiot. The woman, again, who wants to, she's an idiot. The only person who's not an idiot is the poor son of a bitch standing behind the counter who took his $100,000 and said, okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a real big
Poor
question.
Karen.
Who were the fucking assholes that gave $100,000?
Right? Thinking that it would be that what you'd have your.
That's a tax write-off if I ever fucking seen one. Like, dude, tax day was on Tuesday. Tax day was on Tuesday.
But does it work like? Well, yeah, I guess it does. If you if you have enough tax liability and you got cash in the bank, I'd rather donate it to somebody than give it to the goddamn thieving sons of bitches that.
Taxation is theft.
Right.
Taxation is theft.
You're learning.
You're like, Lennon,
here's.
I'd rather give it to you than the IRS.
And he's a jackass for having it. I'm sorry. You know, at some point when I was of age enough, my parents named me after some feller that killed 4 million people in a civil war in Russia, I'd say, maybe I don't like this name anymore.
And I want. You know what's fucked for poor little Lennon over here?
What?
A little barista that makes fucking $12 an hour in San Diego.
It's probably 15 now, but yeah.
Yeah, but he makes $15 an hour, so he makes a whopping $25,000 a year, maybe part time. He just got a $100,000 payday. Wait till he sees that tax bill.
Oh yeah. Well, they give it.
He got a tax bill on that.
They give it to him in cash, but the problem is it's been such a it's so widely publicized
now. You gotta claim that shit as income.
Yeah, it's so widely publicized, and everybody's gonna know. Yeah, it's income.
Oh, yeah,
if I sell enough stuff on eBay, I got to pay taxes on it. I'm about to get hit with that.
Taxation is theft. Guess what?
The
first person who has their money in your paycheck is who?
The government.
Has their money before you even get your money.
I have a theory about that, actually, and we're coming up on the end of the show here, but I have a theory. But I got two theories on that. I think one of two things should happen. I don't think that there should be any option A. You don't get any payroll deductions for your taxes. Okay, so you make 100% of what you earn.
Okay,
every day, all day, every 2 weeks.
Social Security, no unemployment,
none of that. And then on April 15th, the government comes a knocking and they say, write us a check. Now, why do I say that? Because that would I include myself in that, it'd be fucked. But I don't look at how much the government, I have a percentage figure in my head. I know how much they take. I can look at my paycheck stub and see what it is, but I don't look at it. Why? Because it's painful as shit. I don't want to see
a lot of people don't.
Thousands of dollars every month going to the government.
That's why they take it out of your check.
That's why they do it. So, but if we all wrote a check, once a year, and we wrote that check,
or one of those bouncy checks.
I tell you what, we all wrote a check. Some of us for $60,000-$70,000. All of a sudden, hey, why do the roads suck and the schools are shit and the fire department saves the foundation and the police won't come when I call them? We start thinking a little bit more like that. So that's option one. Option two is we keep the payroll deductions, but you don't make any money at all until the government's paid. So January 1st comes around and the government takes all of that, and February 1st comes around and the government, because you know where we're up to. There's actually a site you can go to that goes, and we're all the way up into, I believe, end of March. If you kind of do the numbers for the average American, you would work for free until the end of March before you'd then begin earning your money for the year. Yeah. How do you like that?
People would think about it. People would think a whole lot.
But we won't do that because, of course, the government wants to just be sneaky bastards about it. The problem is
that hurts a lot of people like me and you, but there's a lot of people that aren't making a significant amount of money who are.
Would it? Well, I could put a bunch of money aside and be okay with it.
Well, I could.
Think about the person. Think about the person that have to go sell a car to pay for their, and then all of a sudden they'd be more.
I agree with you, but the reason why the government put that law into place is because 90% of people
we're paying their taxes.
If they got that bill every single month, every quarter, whatever, at the end of the year, they're like, fuck it, I ain't got it. What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm. Come to your house, take your assets, take your house away. All I'm trying to say is I think that people,
if you don't have a house or assets, then what?
I don't know.
That's the thing. So we'll take it before you get
pound of flesh. Literally. We'll take it from your thigh, you fat ass.
Exactly. What happens if you get fired by April?
By April? April the person?
No.
April the month?
You know, I worked 3 months and I'm going to get my first check.
Well, there's, I suspect it'd be just like people that avoid child support by just bouncing from one job to the next before, until the government catches up to them. All of a sudden you're canceled? Canceled. Yeah, wife's canceled. Everybody's canceled. We got to hit the road right now and let you guys go out and enjoy your fine Friday evening before we get canceled. So
bring us another bottle of whiskey.
Yes, bring us whiskey. We love whiskey on this show. Got to figure that out. And gin, too. And gin. We like gin.
Like Virginia?
Gin. The drink gin.
That's for girls.
It is for girls. Our producer's a girl. She likes the gin.
She likes turbans, too.
We need a little dinger for when that happens. It comes up every show. Thank you guys for tuning in on a Friday night. We'll catch you again same time next Friday night.
The Dick Show.